What we want you to do is to, during the presentation, help us to redefine what good e-learning is. So we have this little circle, and then we have some words on these different words, and you'll get a chance to pick up a word or more words, and you can click them onto this one. So try and explain what you connect with smart e-learning are. So like this one I have here says PowerPoint. I don't like that one, I'll throw it away. I have another one that said cases. Could work. It's not up to me, it's up to you. So hopefully you'll all get one, and you'll get a chance to pick a lot of these later on. So let's hand it over to Toby.
Okay, so everyone's got their circle. So the basic aim is that we kind of want everyone to participate in a crowdsourced exercise, as Flemming is saying, through the course of this presentation and seminar, kind of help to redefine a little bit what e-learning is, because a lot of what we're talking about today is that the e-learning of the 20th century, early 21st century is no longer working. The platforms are no longer working of that period, and so there needs to be a collaborative effort by everyone here to try and redefine what that is. So we're going to talk about this case study today with International Business College, who are a Danish business school, and a partnership between them and Saffron Interactive. If you haven't heard of us, we're a learning technologies company, and we're stands just there. So I'm Toby Harris. I'm the creative lead and platform product manager at Saffron Interactive. I'll let the others quickly introduce themselves. You already did, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm the next one in line, Flemming Bornemann. I'm the head of digital learning at IBC, and I met Saffron at the summer summit here, so that's where we connected.
I'm Lyuba. I am the course designer.
And I'm Peter. I am a game changer. And that's it, yeah. So I have no idea where we went. Where are we going? We're out. That's Flemming's part.
Okay, so just to tell you a little about us. You're probably not that interested in us, but we're a business college, IBC, International Business College, located in Denmark. We're one of the major players on the Danish market. And we do a bit of digital learning. We've been experimenting with different stuff, and it's not been all that great. And we came up with this idea that we wanted to change things. And when I came back from the summer summit, things were moving on at our business college, and I said, well, we need to call Saffron, and we'll try and show you some of the things that we built with them. We want to make the user the one who's active. We all know when we go to a website and we want to click on and continue because it's exciting, it has different stuff that we want to do. We don't just want to go to a page and somebody else told you, you need to do this, and after this you should take this course and you should do this. So not the prescribed, but the thing where people are pulling the courses out, they want to do it. So very much on the interactivity in the courses. So that's us.
Okay, so this is actually not mine. I stole this from The Economist Technology Quarterly earlier this year. But I think it kind of encapsulates something that's happened, that's really taken hold in the 2014 to 2015. And this is what we would characterize as the third great wave of the Industrial Revolution, and which is, of course, the digital revolution. The digital revolution is focused around three main technologies, which is the internet, the availability of fast, cheap, cloud-based computing power, and also industrial automation on a huge scale, to the scale where we now have things like additive manufacturing. And all these things spell the end of the second great wave, which is all about the internal combustion engine and the production line. And each of those great waves destroyed entire industries and livelihoods in their wake. So it's hard to imagine, but the internal combustion engine eliminated an entire industry based on horsepower-based transport. The production line eliminated small kind of artisans and people who kind of make tailor-made products. And so we've seen up to now this digital revolution as something which is beneficial to us and helping us in many ways. But now, as we're seeing digital disruptors like Uber, like Amazon, really start to change the nature of a very economy, we have to recognize that we are either going to surf, as L&D practitioners, we're either going to surf this third great wave or we're going to drown in it. Because the digital disruption poses a fundamental challenge to learning and development practitioners. The learner that we're facing has changed. There's a new human being who's emerging from this, and she's certainly not interested in the traditional approach to LMSs or e-learning. She's extremely intolerant of values that don't align with her. She's intolerant of situations where she doesn't get to choose. She's a digital citizen who sees there being a complete continuity between a digital world and a non-digital world. And all of this means that effectively L&D is going to face being squeezed out by other competitors who have mastered this space. And really, I think that with Open IBC, I think IBC wanted to secure their future and start that process by surfing this wave.
So, welcome to our version of digital learning. We wanted to focus on a course that looks a little bit different than the usual articulate storyline products. We wanted to focus on make it playable and sort of engaging and making you want to click and play and explore. We've structured it within worlds, so you go into a world and then you sort of conquer the different challenges. Sorry.
Right, I just want to ask one question, because you're already bored, right? You're a bit bored, I can see that. Did you have your coffee? Right, nobody's answering. This is like e-learning shouldn't be, right? It should be fun, compelling, and interactive and intuitive. So I'm just going to ask you a question, sir, and that's you. So now you're on and everybody else is safe. What does this make you want to do?
Well, initially, learn Danish.
Great answer. It's pretty easy, but if you look at the screen, if you had this on an iPad, what would you do?
I'm drawn to the 3 circles and I'd want to click on one of them.
Thank you. And that is the interactivity that we want to have with this. And the platform in itself should be social, compelling, interactive, and all the other buzzwords that we've all heard so many times. So now we're going to show you how we'll do it. Are you ready? You should say yes and nod. And yeah, great. Good stuff.
Okay, so in terms of the understanding of how you build a learning platform which can succeed in this new world which is emerging, we have to recognize that the real competition for your learner's attention span is not another LMS system or another e-learning course. It's actually the kind of websites, digital disruptors they use every day, and increasingly the space of online learning is being colonized by people like Gibbon, people like Udemy, people like Learnist, who maybe don't get instructional design, but they sure do get web design. They tend to be, resources as an ultra slick, socially framed user experience. They're not courses on an old-fashioned LMS. And what are these sites doing? How do they work? Well, we think that it comes down to 3 main principles that are to do with human behavior and why we do what we do. And we do a lot of what we do based on this idea of peer comparison. So if someone else is doing something or not doing something, that's a massive influence on whether we choose to do it or not. And the web understands this, which is why social context is everywhere, why there's rating systems, there's comments. Social context is flowing through now these sites, and yet a lot of LMS systems completely leave the learner in the cold. They don't even let the learner know what other people are doing. It's deemed to be not important. Web design is all about framing. Framing translates to user experience. We framed this seminar very positively. You probably saw a press release about it. You probably saw a tweet about it. You probably saw a blog post about it. And that hopefully means that you're going to have a better time because we framed it positively. Whereas if someone told you this is going to be a boring seminar, you probably wouldn't have had such a good time. And what a lot of our platforms do is the equivalent of that. They frame the experience extremely negatively because all it is just a folder system or a link. There's no indication of how well you're doing. There's no kind of thing to frame it in that correct way. And that's really, really crucial. And then finally, it's this idea of personalization. Humans are acquisitive animals. We've developed this social reflex where we care more about the things that we feel belong to us than we do about the things which we feel don't belong to us. And that translates into personalization and learner choice, letting them choose, giving up control effectively. And that's vital, I think, in this project. So all of this leads into what we can call gamification, but effectively it's more about a consumer level technology or consumer tech style of development. And so now, should we try and do the live demonstration? Yeah? Okay, all right. So now we're gonna talk you through how we actually applied that in this build. Wish me luck, everyone. There we go.
If you need anything translated, I will be your guide. Just raise your hand and point at me, and I'll come down and translate for you, because I know Danish. Okay. Yes, it's an ability. Right. What we wanted to do with the login page, and I'll let Toby take over in a minute, is this picture is from the factory that we work in. So this is really the identity of walking into this factory. So we wanted to transfer the experience of walking into our facility to the online facility. Take it away.
And it's important to note that the purpose of this platform is to actually not only capture existing IBC students, but to sell online content and interactive courses to a much wider range. And so it's kind of competing with the wider internet, unlike most internal platforms, which still suffer from the same engagement problems, but are usually not competing in that way. And it's that kind of ferocious competition that gives us that discipline to design something in the right way. And it's why we need to look at consumer sites, not what everyone is showing you here. We need to look at the websites people actually use because they want to use them. And part of that is getting over barriers. So here we're using social APIs to allow people to log in with Facebook or LinkedIn. Twitter is not very popular in Denmark, apparently, as is PayPal. The Danes do not trust PayPal, so we couldn't use that as a payment gateway for this e-commerce system. But I think that's really, really important. That lowering the barriers, realistically, people aren't going to sign up and create a new username these days. It's not the kind of thing people do. The actual build contains various kind of technical components, but let's kind of jump straight back into what we have here. So I'm assuming these tabs are in the right order? Yep.
I have no idea if it's right order. Doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah. This is your page. This is what you see when you log in. I'm not Alistair, but he's there, beautiful man. And all his courses are here. And he can see how far he is in each course. So this, and again, I'm going to ask you, sir, because you're not paying attention. Sorry about that, I'm in the way. What does this make you want to do?
Are you picking on me? Yeah. It's very sexy.
That's enough. Well, it's sexy because the layout is great. Thank you, Saffron. And that it makes you want to go into the course and keep going, right? You're only 33%, and this say it's about to run out of time, so you need to go in there and start working. So that's the first thing you meet. And you've got the menu over here where you can see all your social activity, and I guess we'll get into that in a minute. Right, yeah.
So the fundamental aspect of this platform was the need to move from what we would call a push model, the conventional model, to a pull model. Now, push to pull is fairly well known, and most of us, when we're designing blended programs, are going to have a mix of a mandatory stuff and a non-mandatory stuff. But what we forget is that simply giving the learners the option to pull does not make them pick the stuff off the shelf. And this is what anyone who decides to start up an e-commerce business rapidly finds out when they only have 2 products. Guess what? No one buys any of them. Because there's other behavioral principles at work here. We need choice and we need context if we're going to make that push and start pulling content. And so the platform is designed around driving content discovery. And I really genuinely do believe that this applies just as much to an internal learning platform or program focused around compliance as it does to this open kind of competitive site that's going out in the wider internet. What's wrong with letting your learners choose the compliance courses they need to do in the order that they want to do them in if they're unrelated, for example? What's wrong with that? Can anyone seriously tell me that that needs to be in a program that's set up like that? Isn't it more like a kind of playlist that they get to choose? Because that's how the internet works, and that's how the sites people use actually kind of work. So, on this bit?
Right. How many of you got a Spotify account? Right, and do you use playlists? What's so good about the playlists? I'll walk down here. So I'll ask you, what's so good about it?
Introduce new music.
Right, but what's so good about the playlist function?
It takes all of the decision-making process sort of away from me. It's great.
Right, so it leaves you...
Relaxed.
That's a good thing when you need to learn, isn't it? That you're relaxed. Right, you don't have to make too many decisions. Everything is right there for you. So you can choose from all the courses and even like small objects. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, Toby, but I've got a mantra that e-learning is something that you can do in 3 minutes, right? When you're on the loo, on the toilet, it's toilet learning. You've got 5 minutes to do a course.
Can someone please tweet that right now?
Right. Please do. It's the truth. You won't have attention for much more than 5 minutes for a course, will you? So you need to do it fragmented, and you need to do it fast and compelling. And that's the task that we took on. So that's what we're going to do. And that's the course page. And you can just start off the course just right away and see all the reviews, which is good to see how other people think about the course. So you'll probably be more enticed to go there if some of your friends or some of your colleagues are already attending the course and think greatly of it.
So what we're kind of doing with the way these courses are arranged is, again, we're deploying the kind of framing effect on multiple levels. And so we're basically making these kind of enticing preview pages that are kind of similar to how you would use in an e-commerce platform. Before you buy the product, you get to take a look at what it's going to include. And so I can show a better kind of screenshot of this on the actual presentation itself. But this is quite important because it's a thing that learners are going to see before they actually start. And it leads to say, how many people are doing this course? What average rating does it have? What are the reviews on this stuff? No one buys anything on the Argos website, the Amazon website, without reading a review of it. Why are they going to try a new course on your LMS without reading a review of it? Of course they are. And this functionality, it feels like a leap in the dark. It feels dangerous. Of course, you can moderate these reviews if you want. But positive frames generate positive frames. And again, this is all part of that idea of peer comparison that we need to build in. And also how you can get social to be organic to your system. Not just, oh, there's a forum and you click somewhere else. Social needs to be kind of running through it, because social is doing more than giving people the opportunity to connect with someone else. It's actually providing a kind of psychological glue, like a kind of extra layer of connections in someone's brain, which is really, really important. And this is the kind of course structure page that we worked on. So I think this is the bit you were looking for, so I'll come back to this one.
Right. Please excuse me for saying the word toilet, by the way. I could see some of you just, yeah, sorry about that. But this is how we do it. We frame it. So we've got the storyline or any content of the course really here. And you've got the fragmented plan here. So you can always see how far you are and where's the next step. So it takes you through the process in a nice visual way. I'll just ask someone if they like it.
I do like it.
Good stuff, Toby. Cheers to you. So that's the plan with it. Anyway.
When IBC said they wanted to use this seminar to get direct audience feedback on how the platform actually looked, I was like, all right, yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good.
You completely regret it now, don't you?
It's going well so far. It's going well so far. So the next bit that I think we need to get to, because we're kind of running out of time, is this idea of the social aspects. And so there's some strategies here because, the problem with developing community-based sites is you're going to have this kind of 95% problem. So 5% of your contributors are going to be doing 95% of the stuff, and they're probably going to be the instructors. And getting the other people to engage with that's hard. You can't assume that people are just going to engage with your social aspect if they're already on Facebook, they're already on Twitter. And so we can kind of help the process along a bit. Because what we can do is we can kind of just push the stuff that's happening anyway into a newsfeed. So this is a different kind of social. It's more about what we call performance indicators. If I log on to the LMS and I see 10 people have completed this course, I think, oh, maybe I should do that. We didn't need to prompt them to write a blog post, about that. And so I think that's really important. One of the other things we maybe haven't mentioned as well about this is the critical importance of mobile. In this case, in the content and the, I didn't quite believe them when they said they got Storyline to play on iPhones well, but the content and the platform has to be completely mobile optimized as well. And I think that's really kind of critical as well. And the social stuff is really, what we're saying is the kind of glue that's going to keep people stuck to the course. Because what you want them to do is to have that opportunity to network and to find experts, to join groups, and actually to do that knowledge piece. It's all about discovering people who might be interested in the things you're doing, who can help you, people who can add value directly. And IBC's, one of their main objectives with the social element is to actually build a community, an online community around their content, because these courses on web design, on email marketing, on project management are the kind of things that are going to create networks of experts and people who want to liaise with those other people. So, you want to talk about social a bit?
Yeah, definitely. Did you guys ever make a forum for your learners? How many people use the forums? You can count them on one finger, right? Possibly. It's the most silent place I've ever been. If I want to go somewhere quiet, I visit a fora in an LMS. It's true. If I just want peace of mind, that's where I go. So we wanted to prevent that with making this social, interactive with the newsfeed. It's fast. You can recognize the ones you know, and you can learn new stuff, meet new people. That was kind of the incentive with this.
Kind of getting towards the end now, so I want to get towards the key kind of takeaways from this session. But I want to show an example here of something else. And I want people to imagine maybe all your learning management system, a lot of stuff here you're going to see has got, even stuff you can see at our stand, it's going to have loads of widgets and various different bits and pieces, like here's your files, random kind of content curation tools, here's a forum post, here's a news feed. But given the role that it's playing, maybe we could actually take and look at something as breathtakingly radical as this. Maybe it's just a playlist. Maybe that's all we need to get people to engage. Maybe the whole branding and kind of web design thing, maybe we've got a wrong end of a stick in the way we're doing it because we're not prioritizing the stuff that actually works. And I want people to seriously consider whereas maybe you can take out the programs from your thinking and replace that idea with the idea of a playlist. Here's what I've chosen to do. Here's what I'm going to do next. Here's what I've created, and here's what other people can follow that I did. What do people think about that idea? I'm gonna take a cue from you and grab a person. So, learning playlists.
Yeah, I think they could. Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Good. I think
it works, doesn't it? Yeah, it works. Interaction actually works. Amazing. Who would have thought?
So we wanted to finish with these kind of key takeaways, key questions. I think these are always useful when you're thinking about the project that you're doing. So is your focus on actually delivering something which is going to impart useful learning to people, which is going to aid their performance, which is the only reason they're likely to use it? Or is it more about what the subject matter expert wants? The other one is, what is the real frame for your learning interaction? And I mean the real frame. So I mean everything down to how did their line manager tell them about this training? How did they tell them about the LMS? What did the email look like? What did they see when they log on? What did the login page look like? All of that is going to swing whether that learning is effective one way or the other. this is quite a provocative one, but if YouTube was faced with your learning problem, would it solve it in the same way? With a playlist idea, we're trying to get people to this state of thinking it's more about connecting and collaborating than it is about the old model, which is command and control. Command and control is a Taylorist production line model. Connect and collaborate is the digital model. And finally, and this one probably quite easy because there will be people around that we can use for this. But if a 21-year-old graduate was your main stakeholder, if that person had the ability to sign off what you'd done or not, what would he or she say about it? Because that's a pretty powerful way to see whether what you've built is suitable. Because effectively, that 21-year-old graduate doesn't have different opinions to the different generations. In a digital world, we're all equally connected. They're just best able to articulate the kind of user experience that people actually need.
Interaction. So you can see we've tried to build some stuff up here, and we need your help. We really need to interact with you guys. We need your opinion of what e-learning will be in 2015. So we've created these blocks where you can write your own words, or you can choose a block where there's a word here that says micro-learning. You can connect it to the medal that you just received, or you can build a tower, and you can even bring it home if you'd like. I don't know what we're going to do, Toby, because we're told there's going to be a table here. Can I pour all the bricks on the floor in your stand? Is that a no? Let's try and hand them out. Let's see if you can, if you want to. Do you want to interact with us? Do you want to build something? Actually do something right now? Or do you just want to sit back and just relax like every other learner does? We are inviting you to interact with us. Just please come up here and join. That would be nice. Thank you.